Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today we're going to be doing some Blue Eyes White Dragon test hands. So I'm really excited for this one because this deck is a really interesting build that I've actually come up with for Blue Eyes White Dragon, where I actually am playing the Synchro, Fusion, and XYZ build all in the same deck. And I know that sounds crazy, but it does work. It really does. I totally promise you. And that's why you're here, is to see if it does. And I've been playing around with this deck quite a lot recently, and it actually can crank out the alternative dragon, can crank out a True King of all calamities. It has all sorts of different cool aspects of the deck that it does all sorts of really cool things. So I really quickly want to give a shout out to my buddy Jordan. He actually loves Blue Eyes White Dragon, and this is like one of his favorite decks of all time. So I really quickly want to give a shout out to him. Hey Jordan, I really appreciate it, you helping me build this deck a little bit by sending me your list and kind of working with that list a little bit to be able to use it as a base to build this, where I've used like his XZ's build and Synchro build along with my Fusion build, and was like, bam, and then you have this. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell on there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon in the description below because you got some awesome rewards, you guys, like getting your game description for every single video, getting a signed card sent in the mail, or even getting to request a deck profile just like this one every single month that you're a patron, along with test hands just like this video. So without further ado guys, let's get straight on into this. So we're gonna go ahead and give the deck a good shuffle really quick, and you know guys, dad rule, we gotta always pile shuffle it as well. Really interesting deck. I actually, for the longest time, was not playing Sage with Eyes of Blue, but I actually bumped it into this so I could go into some Synchro plays, because I feel like it's the best, one of the best tuners in the entire build, and I'm actually not even playing Needle Fiber in here. Like, I know that's really weird. If you guys want to check out the full list, it is down in the description below. There's a link to the deck profile. If you haven't seen that, you should definitely go check that out first, and then come back and watch this video. So let's go ahead and see what I can do for the first test hand. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the deck, and we're gonna go ahead and pile shuffle really quick. And so, like, tell me what you guys' favorite nostalgic monster is down in the comments down below. Mine personally is Red Eyes Black Dragon. I love Red Eyes Black Dragon, and then Blue Eyes White Dragon. I love both of these monsters so much, but I think Red Eyes tops it for me with just how much potential that the deck has. If you guys don't know this, I mention it in just about every single video, but Blue Eyes is actually based off of power, and Red Eyes is based off of potential, which is why there's so many different fusions with Red Eyes, because it unifies with so many different other monsters and makes these awesome, potentially amazing cards like Dragoons, Red Eyes Slash Dragon, Meteor Dragon, all those really cool things. While Blue Eyes is just like, here's a three-headed dragon with 4,500 attack. Here you go. So let's go ahead and see what we can actually pull off with our first test hand. So we're going to go ahead and draw into a 1-for-1 Return of the Dragon Lords, a copy of the White Stone of Ancients, the copy of King of the Swamp, and a copy of Nebula Dragon. So not a terrible hand by any means, because you have plenty of plays that you can actually go off with this. You can actually go into a copy of 1-for-1, ditch the copy of the White Stone of Ancients from our hand, and then grab from our deck to our side of the field a copy of the White Stone of Legend. So once you get the White Stone of Legend, we're going to go ahead and link that away and summon out a copy of Linkuriboh. Once we summon out the Linkuriboh, you can go ahead and draw out a copy of Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hand, which is really cool. And you also have that copy of your King of the Swamp in your hand that you can go ahead and discard to the graveyard to grab a copy of our Polymerization. And then we also have a really neat card in our hand, which is the Nebula Dragon, which has the ability that you can reveal this card and one level 8 dragon monster in your hand. Convenient, we have one. And then special summon both of them in defense, but you negate their effects. But Blue Eyes doesn't have an effect. Also, you cannot normal summon or special summon monsters for the rest of the turn, except light or dark dragon monsters, which we did all this beforehand, which is totally fine. It does give you a search of a level 4 monster, but you don't really do that. So we're going to go ahead and reveal these monsters in our hand, special summon them both out to our side of the field, and then we're going to go ahead and overlay both of them on our turn to go into a copy of Hope Harboring Dragon Titanic Galaxy to negate spells. And then when we detach a material, we have the copy of the Return of the Dragon Lords as well. Now during the end phase, your copy of the White Stone of Ancients will trigger, because once returned during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can special summon a Blue Eyes monster from your deck. So guess what we summon? We summon the OG Blue Eyes White Dragon, or you can summon your Dragon Spirit of White, depending on which one you want to summon. Usually I summon out the copy of Dragon Spirit of White just to get it out of the deck, and plus it has the ability to contribute to special summon a Blue Eyes monster from your hand. But if you don't have a Blue Eyes monster in your hand like I don't, and you have the copy of your Return of the Dragon Lords, you can special summon out a copy of Blue Eyes White Dragon. It just depends on which one you really want to summon out to your side of the field. You also have the negate of an attack on your copy of your Linkuriboh. You have a negate of a spell right here, and then you have some really cool plays. So this is not bad for an optimal board for Blue Eyes. You draw into your next turn, you draw into the Silver's Cry. Let's just go ahead and say that these go to graveyard. Let's just say your opponent board wiped you. You can activate the copy of Silver's Cry, bring back your copy of Blue Eyes, activate the copy of the Return of the Dragon Lords, summon out another copy of Blue Eyes, and then if you want to, you don't even have to use the polymerization in your hand. You can just contact these together and summon Twin Burst. If you want to contact these together and summon Twin Burst onto your side of the field, which is really cool, which can attack twice, and it doesn't destroy the monster by battle, it banishes it as well. If you don't want to go for this, and you want to go for a big beat stick, instead of summoning that out to your side of the field, you can just summon out this. You have a really cool plays that you can go into with your number 100. If you had your Hope Harboring Dragon Titanic Galaxy still in the extra deck, you go into number 100 and then go for a big boy right there. Or you can just overlay these two and go for Cypher Dragon and then go for Full Armor Photon and then detach a material and get you a pop with a 4K beat stick as well. So you have a lot of plays right there to be able to just handle a lot of different stuff. Usually I would just go for the copy of Twin Burst normally anyways, because it just has so much versatility, being able to just destroy so many cards as well, which is pretty cool. So let's go ahead and shuffle up the deck. As you guys can see, it's pretty consistent right out of the gate, which is pretty nice for this deck. And I'm really excited to show you guys this deck because it's just an overall really fun, cool build that you can summon out the alternative Ultimate Dragon or Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. I mean, there's just so many different cards you can actually summon out of the deck with this particular build, which is what I like about it. The only thing that I've considered changing is adding in another number monster for the Dragubolon play, the number 97 play, because that is the only card that kind of, like I just showed you guys, that you run into issues with. So let's go ahead and cut the deck really quick and go ahead and draw. So we're going to go ahead and draw into a Dragon's Mirror, Blue Eyes Alternative White, Polymerization, King of the Swamp, and a copy of the Sage. So you have plenty of plays right here that you can go into. You can normal summon out your copy of Sage, which Sage will get you a copy of a Whitestone of Ancients from your deck to your hand, which is pretty good. And we have another play as well that we can go into in our hand, which is pretty nice. You can actually activate, if you want to, the Polymerization and then Fusion summon these away, because this card is cannot be normal summoned or set. You can reveal Blue Eyes and this special summon this card from your hand, and then this card becomes Blue Eyes White Dragon while it's on. Okay, excuse me, you can't use it while because it's in your hand, but while it's in the field or in the graveyard. So you'd have to pass with this particular field, which you can link summon this away and summon out a copy of Linkuriboh again, just to be able to stop your opponent. Isn't it ironic that we play Kuriboh in a Blue Eyes deck? You could ditch your copy of King of the Swamp if you want to. I personally wouldn't, to get another Polymerization because you already have it. If you go into your next turn, we're going to go ahead and draw into a copy of the Whitestone of Legend, which you could normal summon out to your side of the field at this point, and then get it off the field in any way possible, destroy an opponent's monster, whatever you need to do just to get it off the field, and it will search a copy of the Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hand, and now you have the 3 materials that you need to fusion summon into a copy of the Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, which is pretty nice that you get this card out on your side of the field. It has a really cool effect that your opponent cannot target or destroy this card with card effects, and then once per turn, you can target one card your opponent controls and destroy it. And if this card was fusion summoned using monsters such as original name or Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon as a material, you can target up to 3 cards your opponent controls instead, and this card cannot attack the turn you activate this effect. Now you have the Dragon's Mirror in your hand as well that you can banish the materials from the graveyard to get these out of the grave as well, and summon out a copy of the Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, which is pretty cool to get both of them out on your side of the field. And then you can just attack your opponent with these next turn. You can pop 3 cards because this card doesn't need to attack, and then this card protects, and it's really big to get these cards out on the field. So you have that fusion play as well. It's not the craziest, most consistent way to actually build the fusion build. I had a fusion build before, which was the previous Blue Eyes White Dragon deck that I had up on the channel. and it was ridiculously consistent at getting out alternative ultimate, but having just that copy of Dragon's Mirror in the deck and having the Blue Eyes alternative ultimate in the extra deck is just so nice. Even if that's all you take away from this, is to playing the Dragon's Mirror in your deck to be able to go into that is just super nice. So let's go ahead and shuffle the deck up and see if we can actually pull off the next one. I don't think I pulled the Link Rebo out. Nope, did not pull the Link Rebo out. We're going to go ahead and put that on the top of the extra deck because we're going to go into it just about every game. Go ahead and shuffle this bad boy up, and we're going to draw into the next hand. So for the next hand, we're going to go ahead and draw into a copy of Blue Eyes, King of the Swamp, White Stone of Legend, Blue Eyes White Dragon, and a Spiral Dragon. So we actually have it again. So you have a really cool play that you can do. Just ditch this from your hand, and then grab from your deck to your hand a copy of Poly. Normal summon out the copy of your White Stone of Legend, link it away, summon the Link Rebo. That's why it's so important to play Link Rebo in this deck. Grab a copy of the Blue Eyes White Dragon, and then you are going to turn off alternative white, which is the only downside of this, but you can use the copy of Polymerization. You can summon all three Blue Eyes White Dragons together, all three Blue Eyes White Dragons. I know, isn't that cool? To summon out a copy of the Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate or Neo. It depends on which one you want to summon. Since I didn't use Alternative, I probably would go for Neo, because Neo has a really cool effect that at the end of the damage step, if this card is the only face-up card you control, and Fusion Summon can attack, you can send a Blue Eyes Fusion monster from your extra deck to the graveyard, and this card can make a second attack in a row. But we do have the Link Rebo, so you can't do that. And during either player's turn, when a card effect is activated, then you can banish this card from your graveyard and then negate the effect, and if you do, destroy that card if it targets a Blue Eyes monster on your side of the field, which is not that big of a deal, because during either player's turn, if a card or effect is activated that targets a Blue Eyes, you can just banish it, which is pretty neat. So you have plays there, and then you also have this card in your hand that while this card's in your hand or your graveyard, and you control 2 or more light dark dragons, which you only control 1, you could special summon this if you get another light or dark dragon on your side of the field. We draw into our next turn, we're getting the Return of the Dragon Lords, get back our copy of Blue Eyes White Dragon onto our side of the field. And then now you can use your copy of Galaxy Spiral Dragon, which has the ability that when this card is in your hand or graveyard, if you control 2 or more light or dark dragon monsters, you can special summon this card in defense position, but banish it when it leaves the field. And then during your main phase, you can make all monsters you currently control become level 8. So you can just immediately summon this to our side of the field, link summon these two, or overlay these two on our side of the field to go into a copy of Dragibulon to summon out this, and then summon out the copies of these, and then overlay on top to make our copy of number 100 at 9,000 attack points, and attack opponent for 9,000, 45, 300, and 3k, which is pretty cool as well. So you have a lot of plays there, because this lets you, during your turn, take 2 dragon monsters that are number monsters, with different names from your extra deck or graveyard, and then special summon one of them and attach it to the other as material. And for the rest of the turn, you can't special summon monsters, which we don't, or declare attacks except with the special summon monsters. So you can only attack with this one, which is not that big of a deal. You're still getting a 9k beat stick on your side of the field, which is really good. And then it has protection as well, because you have your copy of Return of the Dragon Lord. So let's go ahead and do another test hand and see if we can actually pull off with at least one more. We're going to try and get at least one more test hand with this. So you've seen the Fusion, you've seen the XZs. Let's see if we can get the Synchro rolling. The Synchro is kind of like the backup strategy where you can pull it off. It's pretty cool, but it's really neat to actually get off the Synchro as well. So let's see if we can get the Synchro in this next hand. No promises though, we're just going to see if we can actually get it off. So go ahead and shuffle the deck, and we're going to draw into a copy of Return of the Dragon Lords, Polymerization, Blue Eyes Alternative, Nebula Dragon, and a Polymerization. And then we're going to draw like we're going second. This is a bad hand, this is a brick. We're going to go ahead and draw into a copy of Dragon Spirit of White. And we did actually pull off where we're not breaking, because you can use these two and go into an XZ's play if we're going second. So for going second, you could reveal these two in your hand because they're both level 8. Special summon them onto the side of the field, negate both of their effects, and then overlay these two monsters into, again, you could summon out your copy of the Dragibulon, summon out these two, and attach the number 38 to the number 100, and then you have a 9k beat stick, which recovered. I mean, you recovered from this, because you can detach these materials as well, because you have to detach, you can detach a material from this. You have to detach one. I thought it was 2. So You have a 9K beat stick on the field. So let's go ahead and do one more, because that's about all you can do with this particular hand. You could draw into the Blue Eyes White Dragon, which will get you the copy of Alternative next turn, which is not that bad, and then you could revive out the copy of the Spirit Dragon. So you have plays. Blue Eyes does a lot more, in my opinion, about going into the grind game nowadays. It is about going into the OTK, but the way I've built it, you're going either OTK, but it has the potential to grind, as you guys just saw, where you're getting that copy of Alternative. Where used to, when I played this deck, it just felt like I would just throw Blue Eyes at my opponent, and then it would be over with, because I couldn't do anything else after I just threw my first hand out. It kind of reminded me of Chaos Max, where Chaos Max is, if they get rid of the Chaos Max, you're kind of in a bad position. So let's go ahead and do another test hand and see what we can pull off for this next one. So for this next one, we're going to go ahead and draw into a copy of the Maiden with Eyes of Blue, Return of the Dragon Lords, Polymerization, Blue Eyes White Dragon, and a Melody of Awakening Dragon. Okay, now we can get into the Synchro plays. Okay, so what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to activate the copy of Melody of Awakening Dragon. You just have to discard any card in your hand. I'm going to discard the copy of the Blue Eyes White Dragon. You might be thinking, why? Well, the copy of Blue Eyes White Dragon is going to be really cool because I can discard this with Melody, and then I can add another Blue Eyes White Dragon from my deck to my hand and a copy of Alternative White Dragon from my deck to my hand to be able to just trigger the effect. That was really weird. They were all stuck together. I'm glad I didn't draw all those at the same time. That's why it's important to pile shuffle, guys. Just always remember, pile shuffle. Now you can reveal these in your hand, special summon the Blue Eyes Alternative White, and then you have the copy of the Return of the Dragon Lords, which is going to get your copy of Blue Eyes White Dragon back to your field. Normal summon out that copy of your Maiden, and then now you have two choices, okay? You have two really interesting choices. You can either go with this, or you can use the copy of Polymerization, fusion summon all three of these away, summon out your copy of the Alternative Ultimate, which is what I would do personally. I would always summon this because this card's insane. Or you can go this route where you can Synchro summon these two on your side of the field and then summon out your copy of the Spirit Dragon onto your side of the field, which is another really valid play that you can do. Now, once you summon out that copy of Spirit Dragon, you can tribute it on your side of the field and then special summon out a copy of your Azure Eyes Silver Dragon if you want to go that route, which will get you a Blue Eyes from the graveyard. And then later you can go into the copy of Ultimate. If we pass turn and we do this, we're going to draw into a copy of Foolish Burial. Now, I'm going to change this up a little bit, and I'm going to show you a little cool play that you can go into Calamities. I'm going to say I didn't draw that Foolish Burial. It'd be fine if we did, but I'm going to say I drew a tuner monster. Any tuner monster, doesn't matter. Sage, Baylor, at this point, it doesn't matter. We're going to go ahead and use the copy of the Azure Eyes and summon back a copy of the Blue Eyes White Dragon. So once we get this on our side of the field, you can normal summon out the copy of the Sage and Synchro summon these two monsters together into a copy of our Cloud Castle. Now this is where we're going to get into the True King of all Calamities. Don't forget, with the Sage, you do get a search. When this card is normal summon, you get a search. So you can add a copy of any tuner monster that you want that's level 1. You can get the copy of the Whitestone of Ancients. You can get a copy of your Whitestone of Legend. You can get a copy of your Effect Veiler, which is another target that you actually have. I'm going to grab the Effect Veiler just as a backup plan. You really don't need that with the Calamities. I'm going to go ahead and grab the Whitestone. We're going to go ahead and grab that from our deck to our hand, and then now this is going to trigger special summoning either a level 8 or a level 9 monster from the graveyard, which is going to be a copy of our Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. Now you can overlay these two monsters on your side of the field, and then go for a copy of True King of all Calamities. So you have that big beefy boy on your side of the field as well, which is going to get you even more plays. So you have this really, really good negation play, you have a pop, and you have protection with this card as well, and it's constantly special summoning back. So you have those really neat plays. If you pass turn and you go to the next turn, you're going to draw into a King of the Swamp, which then you could use the Polymerization, and you go Polymerization in with these three monsters in your hand and your side of the field, and then go directly into a copy of the Alternative, and you have the Alternative, the True King, and the copy of the Azure Eyes. I keep messing that up. And then you can use during your standby phase, you just get to summon back another Blue Eyes with this card during your standby phase. And then you also have this that you can normal summon. You normal summon it to your side of the field. And you can link it away and summon out your copy of Link Rebo. And then during your end phase, you get to special summon out another Blue Eyes White Dragon monster, which is going to be a second Blue Eyes. So you have this insane board. This is the grind game, though. you're going to be grinding for this particular board, but it is an option. I wanted to show you guys this because you can go into the XZs, the Synchro, and the Fusion plays in this particular build and get all this insane board advantage with this particular build, which is really crazy. This is an OTK. You're preventing your opponent from attacking. This card can't be destroyed. Can't be targeted or destroyed, this card, with card effects. This is protecting it during the first turn that it's summoned. This is negating everything. And then these boys are just extra beat sticks, and this is negating attacks. So you have all this insane advantage, which is really, really, really cool. So that's it for this particular build. Oh, and no, you can't do it with this particular build because you have too many monster zones used. But you could summon out your copy of, if you could summon out this card would even go even bigger. This card would be humongous. This card would be like 18,000 attack points if one of these gets off the field besides the calamities. You can get it up to 18,000 as well, which is pretty cool. So that's it for this particular test hand, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. It is, like I just showed you guys, it is insane, the particular build that I'm using. It's really fun. If you guys want to check it out down in the description below, you guys should definitely do it, because you can summon the alternative white dragon. You can summon the copy of the alternative ultimate. You can summon out the Synchro. You can summon out either fusion that you want to summon, and it only bricked like one time out of all the hands we did. Like, it didn't even really brick, like we recovered from it. So that's it for this particular test hand, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon down in the description below so you guys can get your own deck request and your own test hand request. And we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.